Hey everyone, it's Joy here, and I am super excited to share a shaker card and a shaker tag. These came out so darling. So I have the Sweetheart Shaker here. This is the die that we're going to create our shakers with. The Shaker Bubbles Heart, the Itty Bitty Sentiments Valentine, and the Itty Bitty Tags 2. Then I'm also going to be using the Bits and Pieces XOXO. Then we have Cherry Pop, Pink Champagne, and Toffee ink, an acrylic block. We have the Tag Stacklets and the Petite Scalloped Rectangle Stacklets, Cherry Pop, Sugar Cube, and Oreo ink. Okay, I have die cut from the Toffee Cardstock using one of those scalloped rectangles, the second size down. I didn't use the largest one. Then with the acrylic block, I am going to stamp a pattern on this background piece of cardstock. This is for our card, and I thought it would be fun to take this line of hearts and the open heart. This is from the Itty Bitty Sentiments Valentine stamp. So it has a ton of sentiments, but then it has these little heart images. So I'm using Sugar Cube cardstock, or excuse me, Sugar Cube ink and Cherry Pop ink to create this, and I'm going to go all the way from the bottom all the way up to the top, and I'm not worried about creating a specific pattern because I'm not that concerned about it, but I am creating this fun patterned paper on the background, and look at how darling this background is. I'm going to add some of this to the tag that I've die cut from Toffee Cardstock. This is the largest tag. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do one row at the top and then 2 rows at the bottom. I did tape it in place, and I did use the lines on the grid paper just to help me keep things straight. And just having one stamp on one side of the acrylic block and then the other stamp on the other, I can just flip it over, ink it up, and stamp along. And it turned out so super cute. Then I'm going to be taking these 2 hearts. This is from the Sweetheart Shaker, and I'm going to die cut this heart. I want to have that inside piece open because that's where our shaker, our bubble shaker, is going to go. And I'm die cutting that from Pink Champagne, and I'm also going to be die cutting that from Cherry Pop. And then the little tags, I stamped the sentiments, and I'm so sorry I forgot to record it, but I stamped in Cherry Pop and in Sugar Cube. Those are the Itty Bitty Tags 2, and then the sentiments from the Itty Bitty Sentiments Valentine. Then from that large scalloped heart, I die cut a background piece of matching color. So this is just going to sandwich the shaker piece between the two. Now I just added liquid glue on the top of the shaker. I'm putting that scallop frame that we created with the 2 die cuts on top of that. The first one I just did liquid glue. The second one I did some tape runner and liquid glue, and I think that's the way to go because the tape runner holds it in place until the liquid glue dries, where the other one I had to use some reverse tweezers and let it sit and dry. So I think the second way is better. Now I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to add the Bits and Pieces XOXO. Oh, excuse me, I'm wrong. I'm going to add the jelly beans to this one. The fun like Jelly Belly jelly beans, and they fit a good amount inside of there. Then I'm going to pull off that release paper off the back and line up that second heart that we die cut, that solid scalloped heart, and then we can just adhere that together. And now we have this cute shaker heart. That guy is going to go on the tag with that other little tag, and that sentiment on the tag says "Wild About You," and I stamped that in Sugar Cube ink. And then I had some red and white baker's twine in my stash, and that's what I'm going to use on this tag. I just used a hole punch to punch a hole in the top of the tag, and then I'm running that through and tying a knot. And then I'm going to adhere this heart on a diagonal right in the center, and I just think it turned out so cute. And you still get to see that fun, pretty stamping that we created with that little sentiment stamp. So now I'm going to use the Bits and Pieces XOXO to fill up our red heart. Now this can look like a little perfume bottle, or it has like a little hanger piece. So I removed that release paper, adhered my hanger piece down, then added some liquid glue to the hanger piece, and then put on my back piece. That way everything will be adhered together and nothing is going to fall out. How cute is that shaker? I am going to add that same red and white baker's twine, adding that little tag. This little tag says hugs and kisses. I'm going to tie that in a knot, and then I'm just going to create a little bow at the top. I love these shaker bubbles because this makes making a shaker card so super easy. Think about just the heart like this. I think it's so darling. So again, when I was talking about you could make this kind of look like a perfume bottle, I didn't use the pieces for that on either one, but you could do that. So I'm going to adhere that towards the top. I did stamp the sentiment, I love you, at the bottom from the Itty Bitty Sentiments Valentines with black ink. I thought it would be fun to add an XOXO to the tag itself on that little heart, just to give it a little something extra. I think that turned out so cute. Let's take a look at these up close. Look at all the shaker bits that fit in there. I think it turned out so darling. And then you can fit candy in it. Think about, you could put M&Ms or Reese's Pieces or anything like that. I just think these are so fun. You can find all of these products at the Tailored Expressions web store at tailoredexpressions.com.